Turn up the dive, feel the vibe, get ready to ignite. Untold stories in the airways, flying through the night. Experience voices, tales so bold. Streaming live, the truth unfolds. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's so I remember I share and subscribe. Join the side where truth can't hide. Aliens in the attic, UFOs in the sky. Cryptids lurking, oh my, oh my. Ghosts in the hallway, whispering your name. The paranormal, the unexplained. Become a VIP, get the inside scoop. Unlock the mysteries, be part of the group. Live streaming stories, they're talking to you. Super chats buzzing, join the crew. Untold Radio Network, the secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries live. Great guests, super chat, it's a wild member. Share and subscribe, join the side where truth can hide. So if you've got the guts and you want to explore, tune into the Untold, it's what you're looking for. From aliens to ghosts and all that's unseen. Untold Radio Network, where the world's mysteries convene.
Good morning, monsters, and welcome to this week's episode of Monsters on the Edge here on the Untold Radio Network. Today we are live. Good morning, Lee. Lee is always our first person in the comments section. Good morning and happy Monday. As always, guys, I am your host, Barnaby Jones from Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society based right here in Wisconsin. If you guys want to come out and meet myself and members of my team, we are going to be in Eau Claire, Wisconsin at the Midwest Meta Paracon, April 11th through the 13th. Look at the list of people there. Mike Ricksecker, Aaron Sagers, Cody and Satori Haas, Ronnie LeBlanc. I'm not going to read them all. There's a ton of them. Jason Sherry from Ghost Hunters, Adam Barry, a whole ton of people going to be there. It is an awesome event. Eau Claire, Wisconsin, April 11th through the 13th. Head on over to MidwestMetaParacon.com for more information. And then, guys, we head to Appleton, Wisconsin for the Wisconsin Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Convention. The event kicks off Friday, May 9th with a VIP meet and greet as well as a Bigfoot expedition. There are only, I believe, 2 tickets left for that. So go get tickets to the hike so that I can stop talking about it. And then on Saturday, we have the convention proper with over 30 plus vendors and all of our guest speakers, and the debut of our brand new documentary, The Hairy Man of Dairyland, Wisconsin's Bigfoot. Check it out.
Right here in the road, and it was right on the line, standing right there.
Whatever it was breaking trees, breaking branches, and I've never heard that before.
And from the basement door, I was like, Louie, I'm pretty sure there's a footprint out here.
And that's when the rocks started coming out of this tree line.
All I seen was hair.
and it was like arched over right here.
And then out of nowhere we hear this loud, like earth-shaking grunt.
It rolled its shoulder and grabbed the ground and pulled itself towards my vehicle.
And I heard a plunk, and I come over here, and that squash was laying about right there in the middle of my garden, you know.
How do you walk in that in bare feet at 30-degree temperature?
Did you see that? What was that? I saw something dark in the light from the right to the left.
It was big.
How big was it? Bigfoot?
We wrap up things on Saturday with Angela Zabel, who will be doing a psychic gallery reading as well for anyone who has a Saturday ticket. That is all inclusive for Saturday. You get all of that with your ticket. If you can't make it out in person, no matter where you are in the world, you can get a virtual ticket for just $5 and live stream all of our guest speakers throughout the day, live or at your convenience. You will also get a ticket for the documentary release, so you can watch that and live stream that or at your convenience as well. Then, guys, we head down to the Chicago Paranormal Convention June 7th in Joliet, Countryside, Illinois, Joliet Road. And in September, I will be at Silicon in Illinois as well. There you go. That wraps that up. And we got a couple library presentations and stuff in there. Head on over to wisconsincaps.com. Click on the public events tab, and you'll get all the information on everywhere that I'm going to be. If you want to show your support for all things here on the Untold Radio Network, here's how.
Hey, Untold Radio Network fans. Want exclusive perks and to support our channel? Introducing our YouTube membership program with 3 amazing levels. Get loyalty badges that level up to different cryptids the longer you're a supporter. How cool is that? You'll also get access to custom Bigfoot emojis and priority in chat. Upgrade to Backstage Pass for exclusive wallpapers, photos, status updates, discounted books, and merchandise. Go all in with the producer level for everything mentioned plus member shoutouts. Ready for an enhanced experience? Join now, pick your membership level, and let's make this journey even more exciting together.
All right, guys. As I said, today's show, we are live in studio. So if you have any questions or comments throughout the show, throw them in the comments section and we'll get to them as soon as possible. My guest today is Gwendelyn Purcell. She is a dynamic and entrepreneuring individual with a deep-rooted fascination for the mysteries and the unexplained. As the podcast host of From Beyond Tall Trees and Bigfoot, the podcast, she delves into the enigmatic world of cryptids, particularly focusing on Bigfoot, engaging listeners with intriguing discussions and expert interviews. Her entrepreneurial spirit shines through as the creator, see, there we go, Drinkly, and owner of Got Knockers, a unique brand offering Bigfoot-themed merchandise that resonates with enthusiasts and believers alike. Beyond her ventures in audio storytelling and retail, Gwendolyn is the visionary behind Strange Knocks magazine, where she serves as the chief editor, curating content that explores the mysteries of the world. She also brings communities together as the organizer of the Central PA Bigfoot and Cryptid Festival, providing a platform for enthusiasts to share experiences and knowledge. Through her diverse projects, Gwendolyn champions the allure of the unknown and fosters a community of curiosity and discovery. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Gwendelyn Purcell.
Hi. I have to chuckle when you read that. I was like, oh my gosh, who is he describing? It's just so weird to hear all that about yourself.
I know, the little thumbnail of every guest that comes on, I have to put like who they are, Bigfoot research or whatever, and above their name. And yours was easy. I just copied it right out of there.
I'll research anything at all. Yeah,
exactly. Awesome.
Too funny.
Awesome. Well, it's good to have you here. I'm so happy. We have so much stuff to cover. I mean, the list goes on and on with things that you could talk about here. So I think we want to start with you and I, we got to promote stuff. So you have your convention coming up here, and you got some really cool people going to be there. My guest last week was actually Daniel Barnett.
Oh, yes.
And he's going to be there with you. So tell everybody about the convention, what you got going on, where to get it, and where you can get more information.
Well, anyone can visit our website with centralpabigfoot.com. You will find, most of the vendors are listed on there if they've provided me with their logos. You can scroll through the list, see who all the vendors are. I travel all over the place, vendoring at events and speaking at different things. And the one thing while I was out vendoring is that people say, I can't get to that, or that's too far away. You know, they just can't travel that far. And I came home and I said to my husband, I think we need to have something here. And he was like, what? And I'm like, I think we really need to bring something a little closer to, the Northeast, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey area, because people just aren't able to get out to go to Pittsburgh or go to Virginia or, wherever. And I'm like, we got to do something. And so we did. And the first year we had 5,000 people show up. So I was shocked that it was so successful. We only had 28 vendors the first year. Last year we had 110 vendors and about 7,500 people. It was insane. This year, as a matter of fact, I just got done with a meeting this morning. It looks like we may be moving our event to the mall, the local mall, which is going to be freaking fantastic. Plenty of parking. There's a 4-lane highway out front, so traffic's not going to be an issue. It's going to be indoors, so heat is not going to be an issue because it's air conditioned. No rain. You got to worry about anything like that. We're going to have a ton of food vendors. It's going to be fantastic. So yeah, but we have, oh my gosh, the speakers. I mean, how could I forget those guys? They're amazing. Daniel Barnett is coming over from the UK. Basically, this year's festival is built completely around him because he has a documentary that's coming out very, very soon. I'm excited. And so we're going to be airing that documentary on Friday night with all proceeds going to the Autism Foundation. And then Saturday will be the festival. And we're having Daniel speak. Brian King Sharp, who's in the documentary, will be speaking. Ronnie LeBlanc is coming down. He was also in the documentary. RPG, Ryan Golembeski, is coming up from Florida. He's also in the documentary. So he'll also be speaking. And then we have Terry Wendell and Amy Boo coming. They're both, Terry Wendell is from North Carolina. Amy Boo is from Ohio. I'm sure most people know Amy's name. We have an amazing lineup of speakers. It's going to be fantastic. And you can buy your speaker tickets. You can buy the Friday night special event tickets. Everything is on the website. So go to the website, check it out. It's going to be awesome.
When is it?
It's August 9th this year. I know, right? Everybody's like, well, when is it? I don't know. I get so excited and caught up that sometimes I forget little details like the date.
The important details, yeah. Everybody that's going to be there, it's going to be a great event. I'm not going to tell you when or where. You're just going to have to find out. It's a surprise.
Go to the website. You can find out there. No. But it's going to be an awesome time. I can't wait. It's so excited.
Sounds awesome. I know Brian is one of the other show hosts here on our network as well.
Yes. I love Brian.
The only one I didn't know was Terry on your list.
Oh, Terry Wendell. Yeah. He does Rock Hills Bigfoot out of North Carolina. Okay. So he does a lot in the Uwharrie National Forest, which is one of my bucket list places to go because I hear it's really weird down there, and the weirder the better. So I'm chomping at the bit to get down there. And in fact, we're trying to make that happen this year where I can get down there with Terry, but he's a fascinating person and he's got a lot of stories to tell. I mean, he's not very well known, but he's fantastic. I just love that man. He's like my older brother. So,
I will have to throw him on my list of people to have on the show.
Oh, absolutely. You won't regret it.
I've talked to everybody else on that list already. So,
yeah, he's very cool. You won't regret it. You won't regret it at all.
Very cool. Yeah, it definitely sounds like a great list of people. I mean, you have a fabulous. I've met Amy, I've met Ronnie, I don't know if I've met RPG. I've had him on my show though, but yeah. So they're all fabulous people, and
They are.
definitely
They're awesome
looking forward to seeing Daniel's documentary when it comes out.
Oh yeah,
he was just on last week, so
it's gonna be amazing. I may have an inside scoop on that.
I believe so, because there's pictures of the two of you on your Facebook page.
Yes. I've been to the UK twice now. Last year for his event. I spoke at his event. And then we may or may not have taped a few episodes of a TV show in January. I was over there. And I'm going over again this May because I'm co-organizing his event with him. Nice. So lots going on.
Very cool. If you ever want to bring a speaker in, I haven't been to the UK, so
no?
I'm just saying. I also haven't been to Florida. If anybody wants to book me in Florida, so
right. I would love that. Yeah, I would love that. Get her done.
There we go. Awesome. So that's an amazing event. I think we do have the link to that in the show notes for anybody that's interested. You can click on that and check out all the details and more. So that was August 9th, you said, right?
Yes. Yeah. We're up to 95 vendors already. And we still have till August. So I always get a huge influx like in June and July. So who knows what's going to happen? There could be 200
still have
vendors
spaces there. No, we're sold out. We've been sold out for months. You should have bought one already.
No, I'll find spots for people. I don't even care. We'll pull up sidewalk outside. I don't care. There'll be a spot for everybody. I promise.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So is your events all outside? Is it like on the streets, or is it free? Or
the last two, it is free to get in. The only thing you pay for is to see the speakers and the Friday night special event. Otherwise, it is free. And I do that on purpose. I want people to be able to spend money with the vendors.
Yeah.
And if you're spending money to get in the door just to see the vendors, that's defeating the purpose. So the event itself is free. You can come in, you can shop, you can laugh, you can share stories. I mean, you can talk to all the speakers, because when they're not going to be speaking, they will have a booth. So it doesn't cost you a dime to go up and talk to Brian or Ryan or whoever. And it's very family friendly. So bring your kids. I should have asked if they allow dogs in the mall, but hey, I don't see why not. Bring your dogs. We don't care. It will completely be inside this year. Normally we have it at an outdoor venue, but we're getting a little bit too big for the outdoor venue. And traffic is a nightmare when you're trying to compete with an amusement park and our event all on the same day. Traffic is a disaster. So this year, I mean, I'm 95% sure it's moving to the mall. It probably will, because we're opening a store in the mall.
There you go.
The beginning of May. So our store will be open, up and running the day of the festival. So we want to kind of bring people to the mall, see the new store, vend with all the vendors, eat with all the food trucks, listen to the band that we have booked to play. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't know if you were announcing your store yet. I didn't want to.
Oh yeah, we're super excited.
Yet, but yeah, that's cool. We were talking before the show started, and I said, I don't know everything, out there. I haven't been to all 50 states yet and that, but I don't know of any cryptid themed stores that aren't specifically like like Bigfoot museums or something like that. I know there's a lot of those. I've been to a bunch of those, but I don't know. Are you going to have a museum at your store?
Oh, my
plays or something.
My big goal is to have a Bigfoot museum and nature center where we can have kids come and learn about all facets of nature, not just Bigfoot. I mean, all cryptids, all nature, plants, floral, fauna. It would be awesome. And I hope to aspire to my own building where we can make all those things happen under one roof. And we will have educational stuff and things like that at the store. And the mall has a big conference room. So we are talking about hosting events in the conference room that we can have people come and learn different stuff. So yeah, there'll be things there, museum-y type of things. So there's a lot of ideas flowing around and things that we're going to add to the store. But the store is not going to be strictly a Bigfoot store. It's going to be everything. It's going to be aliens, ghosts, every cryptid you can think of. I mean, we're gonna have everything in there. It's going to be awesome. So there'll be something for everybody.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Lee directed this towards me, but you can steal it if you want. Your event needs a karaoke night.
Oh, that sounds amazing, actually. I might steal that.
There you go. You can have it.
I don't know who wants to hear me sing because it's not that great, but I mean, have a few drinks, nobody will know the difference.
There you go. There you go. Awesome. Wow, that's a really cool. I mean, like you have your just dabble in everything from the magazine to the podcast to your Got Knocker store. And so I assume like all the stuff you got on your website and stuff you're going to have in the store then as well.
Yes, you will be able to pick up copies of the magazine right there in the store. Our second issue is coming out April 1st. Nice. I'm so super excited. Like I had to name a co-editor because I have so many things going on.
Yeah.
Everywhere that I had to have somebody help me do the magazine because it's a lot doing a magazine. Mm-hmm. I literally was like scrolling through the program I use to see what all things I could make. And it said magazine. And I was like, wait, what? I can make a magazine? And I was checking it out and I was like, I'm going to make a magazine. And I did. So it was awesome. But now I'm hooked. Like the second cover is already ready to go. I just have to add a couple of people's articles to the front page, and it's beautiful. I'm just gonna say that.
I definitely know how that goes. I mean, I run 2 podcasts every week. We do research. I go to conventions, libraries, and you see something and you go, ooh, I want that too. And now you've added more to your plate, and it's like going to a buffet. It's
my husband didn't even know I was gonna do a magazine. I just started it, and I was like halfway through it, and he's like, do you have extra time? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just not going to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I didn't get to sleep much yesterday. And then, we were talking about the time change now, and I work third shift. Today, I was supposed to sleep for 3 hours before this, and I couldn't sleep. I slept maybe a half hour. I could not fall asleep. Now I have like 3 hours between the end of this podcast and when I have to go and host a paranormal investigation tonight.
Oh, Lord.
And then I have to go to work after that. So I will have maybe 2 hours to 3 hours of sleep this whole day. Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. But
lots of Red Bull.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, all right. We've chatted about your promotional stuff here.
Yeah.
Let's get into this. So I want to ask you, as I said in the beginning, because Pennsylvania is, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it is the #1 state for sightings of flying cryptids, the pterosaurs, the thunderbirds.
Awesome.
Things like that. And I wanted to ask you about that. So I know we kind of you were just as surprised by that as I was.
I was like, we're #1? What?
I'm pretty sure.
Like, I've heard stories about people
Ken Gerhard's going to be very mad at me if I got that wrong. But
and me too, that I don't even know, considering I took his class.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, see?
Like, what?
That's where I got it from.
Sleeping during that statement? I don't know what's happening. That blows my mind. #1.
I'm pretty sure it was.
We're 3rd in the country for Bigfoot reports, but #1? Oh my gosh.
Pretty sure. Ken, if you listen to my show, send me a nasty email.
Can you mute Ken from this?
Yeah.
I mean, that way we're not in trouble. Yeah, that would be amazing. I've heard a lot of stories about thunderbirds and even about the Jersey Devil, like on the eastern side of Pennsylvania, that sometimes people spot the Jersey Devil. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't look down and go, oh, there's the New Jersey state line. I can't go over there. But I've not experienced it myself. Although if I saw a thunderbird in the sky, I'm totally on it, right? I'm going to research my heart out because I research everything. But that would be amazing. I've been in the Alleghenies a lot because that's one of my major research areas. And I have not come across a thunderbird. We have had a rake sighting, which is really scary.
Yeah.
And Bigfoots, of course. There have been strange lights in the sky, so we have some alien stuff going on. And yeah, but I've not seen a Thunderbird, but I'm not closed off to it. Like I'm totally in. Like,
yeah, I know Pennsylvania is really big with them flying cryptids and stuff. I remember that. I like I said, I want to say it was the number one he said, but yeah, it was in his class. That's where I got it from. So there you go. You may have missed that class.
I think I need to revisit that.
Yeah, exactly. But shout out for Ken Gerhardt, has a amazing cryptozoology.
It is a very cool class.
If anybody's interested in it, even if you've already been researching for years, you're going to learn something, apparently, because we both learned something and then we don't remember. So
I'm gonna have to go back and be like, did I pass that quiz?
Yeah. It was on the quiz too. Yeah, I don't know.
It was on the quiz.
Yeah. Okay. So besides Bigfoot and the Thunderbirds that we don't know anything about, what else? I know, like, you're right by West Virginia, and West Virginia is just absolutely weird and messed up down there.
Oh, I know. Not just the people.
Ohio's got a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just the
people.
But
I do spend time in Ohio at Salt Fork State Park, and that's one of my favorite places to go because I have had 2 things happen to me personally in that park, and I just love it. I just love it. I had my second sighting in that park. And then last year I had something very strange and weird happen. So I've been told a lot over the course of my whole life that I have abilities, which obviously I don't know how to hone into. And if you try to Google that, it's ridiculous. Like how to develop your psychic abilities. Don't even go down that rabbit hole. Yeah. It's awful. And so I've just been kind of trying to do it on my own and figure it out. And I had this really weird experience where a group of us was going out and we were driving down this road and we all pulled over and we seemed to have separated a couple of young Bigfoot that were together. Somehow we got in the middle of them. And I became very emotional because I have empath abilities, so I kind of feel other people's emotions. So if you cry, I'm going to start crying. If you get mad, I'm going to get mad because I've learned how to turn it off because I work on an ambulance. So I was a mess for a long time. Like I was exhausted every day because I've been through every emotion known to man. And now I've learned how to turn it off. And I just was overcome with emotion that we separated these juveniles, and one was very upset. The youngest juvenile was very upset and was like rocking back and forth. And out of nowhere, I started rocking back and forth. And the guy I was with was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Just like, it was insane. It was a really weird experience for me. I'm still kind of on the fence about it because I don't know whether to trust it. Like, was that really what was that really what was happening? So, I mean, I don't know where your abilities come from. And I don't know, because I've not honed in on them, I don't know how much of them I can trust. So I kind of like, these things happen and I stand back and I go, what was that? Like, I don't know. Like, where did that come from? Like, can I trust it? Is it my own mind toying with me? So like when I hear people saying things that they've had this experience or that experience, I never call anybody a liar. But if you tell me that you've had this wild, crazy experience with UFOs coming out of lakes or, dinosaurs coming out of portals, I'm going to go, okay. And then I'm going to come check it out. Because if you're seeing a dinosaur coming out of a portal, I want to see the dinosaur coming out of the portal. And then I'm in 100%. Like, yes, dinosaurs came walking out of that portal. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. We're good to go. But it's so like, I struggle with that a little bit, but that was a really weird thing that had happened, so that I'm still kind of like, what was that? I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like, unfortunately, the people that are empathic always put themselves in situations like running conventions and, all these things that you're surrounded by a million
Well,
people, and it's the absolute worst possible thing for you to do.
it
And
is.
yeah, that's
It is absolutely the
exactly.
worst possible thing, which is why I've had to learn to turn it off.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
took a long time to like figure it out because I don't have a mentor. I don't have anybody helping me. It was like, okay, how do I block this? Like, because on the ambulance, you go through every emotion all day long. Like, you have angry people, you have sad people, you have people that want to kill themselves. And I mean, you have every emotion known to man in the back of that 8x8 box. And you either are going to take it on and be extremely exhausted all the time, or you're going to learn how to shut it down so that their emotions don't affect you. And that's what I've had to do. Shut it down.
We have a page on the Wisconsin CAPS website that's called the Trusted Affiliates page. And it is a great resource for yourself or anybody that's interested in this, because we have a list of people that literally what they do is they teach people.
Oh,
so they teach them how to be empaths. They teach them how to be mediums.
Where have you been all my life?
I don't do it. I just made the list for you. So, and people can sign up to be on this list. We vet them. If we don't know them personally and work with them on our team. So right now there's 4 of them up there. I believe 2 of them are on my team, and then the other 2 work with us very closely and stuff. But we have a bunch more that we will be adding and updating as well. We actually have a hypnotist as well that we're adding for people that want to do regression and stuff like that. So it's a great resource, because we go to a lot of people's houses, and like yourself, they have these issues where they're like, oh, I'm seeing paranormal all the time and I don't know why. Well, it's because you have these abilities and you need to learn how to deal with them. So wisconsincaps.com, and then click on the Trusted Affiliates, and there's a whole bunch of resources there for you.
I'm visiting that when we're done.
There you go. There we go. Yeah, it's great. Amazing people that we've got on there. So
I have been seeing ghosts, which is like kind of like, I feel like you go through the motions until you reach to like the Bigfoot and the whatever. Mm-hmm. So my first paranormal experience was when I was like 4 or 5 years old. We had a shadow person in my living room that would just stand there and just like be watching, but he stood in different places at different times. And I never really thought anything of it, because I just assumed everybody saw the guy with the hat hanging in the living room. And it wasn't until a few years ago when I mentioned this hat man to my mom, and she was like, what? Why didn't you tell me there was a man in our living room? I'm like, I don't know. I was 5 years old. I assumed everybody saw the guy in the living room, but apparently not. But it's been my whole life. I've lived everywhere I've gone. My house has been haunted. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they go with me or if I just happen to pick a haunted house to live in every time. Mm-hmm. It's like the current house we live in is haunted. There's 4 ghosts here. One in the garage who doesn't like me. She's pushed me down the stairs 3 times and sent me to the emergency room. She's really not a nice person. Yeah, I moved my office from above the garage to the house because I can't deal with her. I'm very, very careful if I have to go upstairs in the studio for anything, because she's pushed me down the stairs 3 times. That's just crazy. But I mean, and I never believed in Bigfoot or any other cryptid. Never dawned on me that they could be a real thing. I thought if somebody finds it, that's fantastic. If nobody finds it, whatever, until I saw one, and then all hell broke loose, and I jumped down this extremely large rabbit hole of weird craziness, and everything's on the table now. Everything. Absolutely everything.
As you were saying about the dinosaurs and the portals and stuff, whenever people come up to me at conventions and stuff, or just on the street, I have a big trailer. We haul all our merchandise and that into the events and that, and it's got banners on the side of it, so we're very visible. And several times people come up to us and say, hey, this is my experience or whatever, just at gas stations, at Walmart, wherever we are, whatever city we're in, and that's what it's for. And no matter what the story is, you want to tell me you saw a mermaid, you want to tell me you saw this or that, I'll believe you, as long as, within reason here, but,
right.
I've had a lot of weird experiences. I've seen a lot of weird things that no one else is going to believe unless you were there. And it's not
Absolutely.
my job to say, to convince anyone that what I saw was real. And it's also not my job to say that your experience was any less real or valid, because who's to say?
Absolutely.
Who's to say? So,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's how I kind of look at things. I get emails and text messages and phone calls all the time from people that say, "Hey, I had this happen," and I'm still skeptical, right? Like if you told me you had this weird, really crazy out of a movie type of experience,
Mhm.
I'm still going to be skeptical, but I would never say that you're lying because I don't know that. I wasn't there. I didn't experience it. It's what you experienced, and the first thing I'm going to say is, would you take me there?
Mhm.
Can we go there? I want to check it out. I want to see what kind of area it is. Can we have the same experience or maybe even an equally weird experience? And, I never will say somebody's lied because I've had weird experiences that I know if I told certain people, they would look at me and go, she's out of her mind. She's freaking crazy. That didn't happen. She's a liar. I'm not so I won't do that to somebody else.
Mhm.
Absolutely not. Mm-mm.
I think there's, even when you talk about things like Bigfoot, wherever you fall on the spectrum of paranormal, interdimensional, ape, whatever you do, there's a lot of stuff out there that people have experienced while Bigfooting or while out in the woods
Mm-hmm.
that people don't report because they think, well, that's too weird. And I think that, not to say that they're paranormal, because like I said, if you go out into the woods and you're deer hunting and you see a Bigfoot, does that mean Bigfoot's a deer?
I just had somebody tell me that yesterday.
Yeah. So how can you associate the fact that you're out there deer hunting and you see a Bigfoot, so now the Bigfoot's a deer? That's the same way as if you go out in the woods Bigfooting and you see an orb, or you see a fairy creature or something else. You cannot say that that has something to do with Bigfoot. But when people go out there and have these experiences with Bigfoot or Dogman or any of these other cryptids that are out there, they're not talking about the other stuff that happened at the same time, because it's not what we talk about. There's not many people talking about Bigfoots and orbs, right? It's getting more and more prevalent now that people are talking about these things. But when you first started discussing this, there wasn't a lot of that. It's not common Bigfoot association to say, oh, I saw a Bigfoot, I saw an orb, or I saw a Bigfoot, I saw lights in the sky.
Yeah.
Because they could or couldn't be connected, for one.
Right.
But two, people go, if they're willing to come out and tell their story about seeing a Bigfoot, they're already putting themselves out there for ridicule already. And now to make that story even above and beyond, now you're going to take, say that they're crazy. Well, you saw a Bigfoot with lights in the sky. Oh my God. Bigfoot, one thing, but now you're seeing aliens and you think this, and it's just too much. I really wonder how much other stuff is going on out there that people aren't talking about.
I get asked a lot what I think Bigfoot is, or for any of the cryptids for that matter, because we just don't know. Like, we don't know what they are. So I think it's a huge injustice to any research anywhere. If you go in with, this is a flesh and blood creature, it's nothing else, and that's what it is, because you could be sadly mistaken. And you may discount evidence that you come across or you find because you're stuck in this tunnel vision of it's a flesh and blood creature. I don't know what it is. You will never hear me say he's alien, he's paranormal, he's this, he's that. I can say this. I have had very bizarre, weird experiences that I cannot explain, because a flesh and blood creature would not do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that it was or it wasn't a Bigfoot. I'm saying I had this experience and I don't know what the hell that it is. I try to go where the evidence takes me. And I think that's really the only way that we're going to find the answers, is to get out of that mindset of it's UFO and it's nothing else, or it's only interdimensional, or it's only paranormal, or it's only this. Because you know what? One of us is right and everybody else is wrong. So I try not to get into that box, because I think for a research perspective, you really do a lot of injustice because you throw away things that don't fit your narrative. And then you could have just thrown out the answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And I know that that answer probably pisses a lot of people off, because it seems like if you're in that camp and you're in that box of it's this or it's that, you will fight to the death.
Mm-hmm.
Other people who say that that's not what it is. And so I won't argue and fight with anybody. Like, dude, that's your experience and that's what you think, and that's fine. You can think whatever you want. This is a free country. But at the end of the day, you could be really wrong. So I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's you know, all these people talking about, you know, going out there bigfooting, looking for footprints.
Yeah.
And we're all looking for these, you know, massive 16-inch indentions in the ground and these perfect footprints. Well, what about all the knuckles?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, who's out there looking for handprints?
Right.
Nobody.
No, nobody.
So you're walking past all this evidence because you're looking for footprints.
Yep.
And that is the most basic way to sum up what you just said. Is you're out there looking for all this research, you want all these answers, but you're overlooking all the stuff that doesn't fit your narrative.
Yes.
It's like, yeah.
And that's with any cryptid whatsoever. Dogman, the Jersey Devil, the I want to say pterodactyls, but that's not what Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
You know, all of them fit this category of research where you just, oh yeah, Leah, don't get me started on that BFRO stuff. That's the problem.
Yep.
They will just literally throw things away because it's right on their website. It's flesh and blood creature, and that's it. It's right there on their website if you look at it. I went on a BFRO expedition. It could be. It maybe I'm wrong, right?
But then all the people out there looking for interdimensional stuff that could use all the weird reports and stuff don't get any of that.
Yeah. You know, I had a guy pretty much attack a thing on Ron Moorhead and his quantum Bigfoot theory.
Yep.
And I've read Ron's books. They're very informative. They give you like a new perspective in which to look at things, which I appreciate. And if you can believe in paranormal, if you can believe a ghost can form and disappear in seconds and walk through walls and do all the things that they do, how can you not believe that a Bigfoot or a Loch Ness monster or a Jersey Devil or anything can do the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's the same, tell me, how does a ghost walk through a wall? How does 1 second it appear and the next second it's gone? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what is that? So to discount anything else is just crazy because we don't know how things work. We're not that smart. We have a long way to go to find all those answers, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was at MI Paracon a couple years ago, and I listened to John E.L. Tenney speak. And if you get a chance, definitely anybody out there, go see him. He's an amazing speaker. And he started off his thing, and he goes, how many people here believe in aliens or extraterrestrials? And like almost the whole audience raises their hand. And then he's like, okay, how many people here believe in ghosts? And about half the audience raises their hand. He goes, okay, how many people here believe in Bigfoot? And like maybe a quarter of the audience raises their hand. He goes, okay, so you're telling me that you rather believe that there's life on another planet, but there's not a giant humanoid ape running around in the woods that we haven't classified yet?
Right? Exactly my point.
Interesting. Very good.
Yeah. How do those aliens travel light years to get here? Way faster than we can barely get to Mars, damn it. Like they're coming from galaxies away and
they
that?
have invested in science instead of war. That's what that's how they've gotten here faster because they're not
faster
tied up in all that stuff.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. Yeah. We're so focused on blowing each other up that we can't figure out how to go from, past the next planet over. It's just ridiculous. It's crazy.
Or not even the next planet, the next moon.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then you have these people on TikTok now that go, why haven't we been to the sun? We've landed on the moon. We want to go to Mars. Well, why haven't we landed anyone on the sun? And I'm just going,
oh, you're so smart.
Future. This is the future.
Right. This is what they're teaching our children.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. If you can get to the sun, you were a total idiot. You're not going to get anywhere near that thing.
Don't worry. You're on the first flight to the sun.
Yeah. You're not even going to get on Mercury, dear. Like, because that planet is hot and blazing. Like, you're not even going to get there. So simmer down.
We are live, so if anybody has any questions or comments, throw them in the comments section. We can talk all about anything going on over in Pennsylvania, the convention, and all the cryptids that are hanging out over there.
Yeah.
Throw them in the comments section. We got a little bit of time here left here. But let's transition over because we had to come here eventually. We're going to be here now. So tell me about your research. Tell me about what I always want to know, what do you think that you know? What have you been able to research in your area as far as plants that you think that they're eating, or certain places they're traveling, or family units, or any kind of thing that you've kind of been able to say, I think this is what they're doing? What have you discovered so far?
Well, I have not discovered what they are or what they do or how they do it because I have no freaking idea. However,
we've covered that. Yes.
With that being said, I do believe that we live out in the country. So the first Bigfoot I saw was literally 1,000 feet from my house when we were going away. So since that sighting, we have had a lot of strange things happen, like right in the backyard. And I believe I at least have an adult and a juvenile here because I've gotten when my girlfriend used to come over here and her and I would camp in the yard down by the wood line. We would camp there and she would be in one tent and I would be in my tent. And we always put out voice recorders to record all night long because I want to know, right? Mm-hmm. If something sneezes, coughs, giggles, laughs, I want to hear it. So I did one night. I heard a giggle and I thought, oh, she must be talking to her husband. I completely blew it off. Rolled over and went back to sleep. And in the morning when I woke up, she was waiting for me outside the tent. And she wanted to know if I talked to my chickens because I have a chicken coop back there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I do. Why? And she was like, what do you say? And I said, well, I say, good morning, ladies, and I ask them how they're doing and I throw them their feed and, whatever. And I kick the rooster because he's an asshole. And she said that she heard my voice come from the chicken coop at 5:30 in the morning saying, hello, ladies. And when she got out to talk to me, I was in my tent snoring. I wasn't even up. So there's these weird things like that are just super bizarre. But I have gotten, my chicken coop was attacked only one time. And then I put out game trail cameras around the coop so I could see what was going on. And I did get pictures of eye shine. And the one eye shine is at 9 feet from the ground. I have a friend that's a police officer. So first call I made was get your ass over here. You need to show me how to figure out how tall something is. So he came over and we spent an afternoon figuring out how tall something was. And the second figure in the same photograph was about 6 foot tall. So we have about a 9-footer and a 6-footer. And to hear that giggle on playback was freaking ridiculous. I nearly almost had a heart attack in my chair. I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe we got that. It was incredible. And there's a research area, maybe 10 miles from me. It's a state park, a state game land park. And I've had 7 Bigfoot reports come out of there, including pictures of footprints And we had a missing man that was missing for 7 days and then turned up dead. And just completely crazy, unexplainable type of stuff that it wouldn't be hard for the Bigfoot that I saw to walk to that other area. And I actually did have a guy drive 4 hours to tell me that he was researching this area pre-COVID and saw 4 Bigfoot in that state park. And I was like, I don't know. Like, skeptical me is like, 4, really? I have not seen 4. I'm not discounting him. Maybe he saw 4. I don't know. But I have not had that experience. But there's been a lot of weird stuff. And like, I go to the Allegheny National Forest. That's one of my favorite places to go. Like, there's not even cell phone service there. It's so out there, right? It's nice to unplug for 4 days. But, you know, we go out there and we've had a lot of weird, crazy experiences out there with lights. And, you know, we did get a photograph of a rake next to somebody's tent. It was incredibly scary looking. Yeah. But I don't know. We've had a lot of weird stuff. I actually was going to bed one night and I was home alone, and I went to close the mini blind next to my side of the bed, and there was 2 red glowing eyes staring back at me, but no body. It was just 2 red eyes. So I quick snapped a photo of it, and then I went outside because I'm not scared of anything. I ran around the front of the house where the eyes were, and there was nothing there. And I took a series of photographs and went back to the window, and there was 3 muddy fingerprints down my window that were not there in the first photo, but they were there in the last photo, and it was less than a minute. And I was standing there the whole time. So like, nothing was there. I'm telling you, there was nothing there. So how did that happen? Like,
yup.
Right? That's why I say I will not camp in a camp, because the things that I've seen are just ridiculous. Like, it's just crazy. We've seen orbs in the woods when we're out in the research area. I've seen orbs in the woods that I can't explain. I crack a tree with a tree knocker and a blue-white orb shows up. And you're like, what the hell is that? Like, I don't know what that is, but it wasn't there until I cracked the bat. And then all of a sudden it was there. So there's lots of things that I don't understand that we've researched. And I just keep going. I keep researching, because eventually we're going to have an answer. Maybe not during my lifetime, but I'd like to contribute as much weird and crazy, strange stuff as I can. So whoever inherits my books of stuff, good luck, because it's going to be ridiculous.
So you said you had an audio recorder out at night. You caught the giggle. Did you catch yourself talking to the chickens then?
We did. It was this on the same voice recorder several hours later. Yeah. It was ridiculous. I'm not kidding. To hear your own voice, knowing that you weren't there, was ridiculously scary. It was so weird. Like, you wanted to cry, you wanted to be excited, you wanted to freak the hell out, because like, what? That means they've been watching me for some time, which in itself is kind of crazy, creepy, scary. Mm-hmm. Because before I had the Bigfoot sighting, everything that happened here on this property I thought was paranormal, because I was a paranormal investigator and I've had a million paranormal experiences. And so I just chalked it up to spirits. And then I see a Bigfoot for the very first time. And then it was like maybe a year after that, my husband was like, can I say something? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what about all that stuff before we knew Bigfoot was here? Mm-hmm. What if those things were Bigfoot? And I was like, what? Like, it never dawned on me that the weird and crazy stuff that happened before could have been Bigfoot related. So looking back, you look back and you're like, oh my God, like, this thing could have been here the whole time. Mm-hmm. The whole time, and we never knew it.
Have you had anything weird happen in your house?
Oh my God. Lots.
Well, okay, let me narrow that down. That, like some people say, you have the hitchhiker effect, right? So you go off and you see a Bigfoot, you have a Bigfoot experience, and then they come home and then they have all this like poltergeist style stuff happen in their house. And again, this is stuff that people don't talk about because they throw it away and they go, "Oh, it has nothing to do with it. It's a ghost." But now that we're connecting that too on your property there, have you had any poltergeisty hitchhiker effect stuff happen?
So we had a paranormal investigation here during COVID, and the team came, and that's when I discovered that there was 4 entities inside my house. One of them I know for sure I brought home from the ambulance because he's a 4-year-old child that was described to me that absolutely fits the description of a drowning victim that I had. And he likes to play jokes on me. He will move my hairbrush from the bathroom to the kitchen. We've had plates. As a matter of fact, we have a plate missing right now. It's been missing for 2 years. We had a set of we had a set of glasses. One of the glasses went missing. My husband thought somebody just took it home with them. And he was like, "What? I would have given them both glasses if they liked them that much." And then one day out of nowhere, the glass just showed up on the kitchen counter one day. And we're like, "Did you put that here?" And we're like, "No." Like, I don't know where it came from. I don't know what they do with the dishes while they're gone. I don't even know where they take them. But weird stuff. We've had things sit on the edge of our bed when you're sleeping. You're going to sleep and something just sits down on the edge of the bed and you're like, "There's nobody there." But we've already been sitting outside on the patio, and you're sitting there and I'm reading a book or playing a game on my phone, and this god awful smell. It smells like a combination of sewer, death, feces, and wet dog all rolled into one big ball, kind of comes wafting at you. And it was like 100 degrees. And I'm like, and it came out of nowhere. And I was like, me and my paranormal mind, because this was pre-Bigfoot, was like, "Oh shit, like something demonic is right where I went." Like, you get that terrible smell and you're like, "Oh crap." And I was like, "We got to go in the house." My husband was like, "What?" I'm like, "Nope, right now, in the house, everybody in the house." And he went away, and it was like a week or 2 later. I'm sitting out in the patio by myself, and this smell comes at me. And I was like, "Why can't you just leave me alone?" And the smell left as fast as it came. And then we had the things like sitting on the edge of the bed. So I'm like, okay, I know there's a woman in my house. Is she trying to protect me from what's outside? Like weird stuff. And you're just like, I just can't. Like, what's happening? But looking back now, I mean, that was pre-Bigfoot. I'm thinking, was that smell that we had come at us from the woods? I went automatically to demonic because that's where you go as a paranormal investigator, and you smell that wretched death smell. You're like, "Oh shit." But this was like, now looking back, I'm like, "Oh crap. Like, could it have been Bigfoot related?" I don't know what that was, but it's been kind of quiet here. And I don't want to say that too loud because I have a haunted doll behind me, and
yeah, it's been moving the whole time you've been talking. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, "What?" Because I have to walk past that thing to get out of here. So I didn't know it was haunted when I bought it. And it's the only doll you'll find in my house. I just had to have it. Don't ask me what that was about. But I was at a Penhurst Paracon, and this lady with the dolls was next to me. And I kept looking at this doll, and I'm like, "I got to take her home." Like, I kept checking to make sure nobody bought her. And like after lunch, I was like, "I got to buy this doll before somebody else does." And I spent like $160 on this doll. It was ridiculous. And then just like a month ago, I had some psychic on the show and on my show. And she was like, "There's a man living inside your doll." And I was like, "What?"
That's even worse.
And apparently her name is Betty. So the doll's name is Betty. So I'm always like, if you see that sucker move, I'm going through the wall to get out of this house because I have to walk past that doll to get out this room. So I don't know. She's not moved or anything yet, so I've had her for about a year and a half.
Interesting.
I love her, but she's super creepy.
Yeah, definitely creepy back there.
That's what I need, another person in my house.
Yeah. No, I'm reminded of one of my team members has a very, very weird house, Barbara Post. And her house was even featured on the TV show My Haunted Hometown.
Oh,
and
wow.
all this stuff that, anyway. One of the things that she had happen right when they had moved into this house was they had 2 cups of hot chocolate, like tall, like big, not like a coffee mug, but a tall cup. And they took them upstairs, set them down on a table, and then forgot something, left the room to get it and come back. And one of them was completely gone, and it has never shown up.
The whole cup was gone.
The hot chocolate, the cup, everything gone. Yeah. They've also lost one of their wedding rings. Took it off to hang on a next to the sink to hang on the wall right there, and it disappeared off of there, and that they never found. They lost that was Rick's ring, her husband, and her ring disappeared a couple years later, a year later or something. That one we ended up finding in her closet. Like we did like my mom does pendulums and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, is it in this room? Is it in that room and stuff? And she tracked it down, and they actually refound that ring. But the coffee hot chocolate mug completely gone and stuff. And Lee wanted to know anything with marbles or anything in your house.
No. One weird thing, this was so weird. We had gone away on vacation, and we came home, and at the end of our bed was a spot of water on the floor. And we were like, there's not even like water pipes above our bedroom, like in the floor, in the ceiling. So we're like, how the hell did this water get here? I didn't know what the hell it was. I just cleaned it up and we forgot about it. And when the psychic came to do the paranormal investigation, she looked right at me and she said, have you ever had any puddles of water anywhere? And I looked at my husband and he looked at me, and we were like, yeah, as a matter of fact, there was that one time. And there was a spot on the steps in the garage that was constantly wet, but there's no water anywhere in the garage. And the roof doesn't leak, or my studio would be flooded. So we were like, how is this water? How is this step getting wet? It was just a spot on the step, and we'd dry it and it would be wet again. And I come to learn that that's a paranormal thing. Mm-hmm. So bizarre, but we haven't had nothing. Golf balls. Thank you, Leah, for reminding me. Even long before the Bigfoot thing, we would find golf balls in the yard. Sporadically, golf balls. The golf course is 2.5 miles away. I don't think a fox or a raccoon or a squirrel are carrying a golf ball 2.5 miles away. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. But we would find golf balls like crazy in the yard. You'd go to mow and there'd be a golf ball laying there, and you're like, what the hell? Where are these coming from? Like all pre-Bigfoot. So now I'm like, we just picked them up and threw them away. If I would have known then what I know now, I would have kept them. But I tried to re-gift, after I found out about Bigfoot, I tried to re-gift him an orange golf ball, and he did not take it. Apparently he did not like the fluorescent orange golf ball. It's still out there. It's been out there for 2 years now. He just hasn't taken it. Which leads me to believe it's probably not a raccoon or a squirrel or a fox, because they would have taken off with the
colorful object.
With the golf ball. But yeah, nobody's touched the golf ball.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we could continue this discussion all day long, I feel, and there's so much more stuff to cover, and I have so many more questions, but we are going to wrap things up for today, and I will definitely have to have you come back on and chat more and stuff.
Oh gosh, yes, that'd be awesome.
it'd be a lot of fun. There's so much more to talk about here. So if anybody has any last minute questions that you'd like answered, throw them in there before we sign off here. We'll get to them before we take off here. But we got stuff in the show notes. Anybody that's listening, tell them, tell them again when and where your convention is, how to get tickets, and your websites and your podcasts.
August 9th is the Central PA Bigfoot and Cryptid Festival. It'll be in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. And we have a website, centralpabigfoot.com. You can also find pretty much everything that we have, including the magazine, Strange Knocks magazine, at gotknockers.org. You will find everything on there. That is our Got Knockers website. So, yeah, and I'll be traveling all over the place, and you'll find that on the website as well, where all you can find me will be on gotknockers.org as well.
Very cool. Very cool. I am pretty sure, I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure that Got Knockers, your Facebook page, and the Central PA Bigfoot are all in the show notes.
Perfect.
So anybody that's looking for that, you can grab them there. So Lee Warner says, fun guest.
Thank you.
I agree. I think that was about it. Lee says that you wanted to come to your convention, but you can't because it's the same weekend as powwow.
Oh, well, you can come any other time, Leah.
There you go. You got Lee, you got to go check out her store.
Yes.
Yeah, when it opens.
Please do.
And she recommends Christina Bloom, who is on our trusted affiliates as well. She's on there. And her book is really well. She has a lot of books, but she has a lot of books, Intuitive View. And Lee has taken one of Christina's classes as well in learning psychic abilities and all that stuff, and highly recommended. So yes, Christina's amazing. She does a lot of podcasts. Actually, she was just on my show, Paranormal Spectrum, a couple of weeks ago for anybody interested, and she'll be back on April 4th as part of a psychic medium panel that we're doing for the 50th episode. So
that'll be awesome. And congratulations on your 50th episode. That's awesome.
I am doing, this is number 97 of this one. So It just so happens that my 100th episode of Monsters on the Edge and my 50th episode of the Paranormal Spectrum fall in the same week because of cancellations and moving around guests and other shows and stuff. It just so happens that the two of them fell on the same week. So now I have to make sure that all of my guests show up between now and then so that I don't lose that.
You're going to be partying the whole week.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Very cool. So awesome. And then you didn't, your podcast, where can people get them? Okay.
Bigfoot, the podcast, you can find up pretty much anywhere you're listening to podcasts, Apple, iHeartRadio, all of them. From Behind Tall Trees is on YouTube. We have on the CARC Universal channel, you can find From Behind Tall Trees. We have Paranormal Files. We have Agents of the Unexplained, all on that channel. So you can catch all of those shows.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I encourage everyone to come out and check out your festival. It sounds like it's going to be a great time. A lot of great speakers.
It's going to be awesome.
Very cool people coming in. So looking forward to that. And everything's in the show notes for anybody that's interested. Click on that and get your tickets, and go get yourself some cool stuff from Got Knockers as well. So
thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for being on. Take care, and I'll talk to you later. All right, guys, that is our show for this week. Thank you all for checking us out, watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing on all of your favorite social media platforms. For anybody that happened to want to see this on Twitter or X, for whatever reason today, it just didn't decide to stream there. Usually Facebook doesn't like the show. Today, Twitter didn't. So, I don't know. Things happen. But otherwise, you can check us out anywhere that you can get podcasts as well, or over on YouTube. Make sure you head on over to wisconsincaps.com for all things cryptids, anomalies, and the Paranormal Society. Until next time, guys, I'll see you on the edge.